not a conflation, excuse me, confluence of things all happening at the same time, which is, first of all, that's you and I, we trust the mainstream media less than ever before, which means, here's the other thing, is that now when we want information about what's going on in the world, we go to the internet and we go to people with independent platforms, people like myself, someone like with a podcast, someone who is on social media, just an individual person who is talking about what's happening rather than going to the mainstream media to find out what's happening. And because of this, many of the things that have been going on in the world, specifically, let's just talk about government, many of the things that have gone on in government for decades has not changed. Only thing that's changed is that now we know about it. So the same nonsense that was going on in government in 1992 is going on now. The difference is in 1992, we didn't know about it because the mainstream media would not report it. And even if they did talk about it, they can only talk about it on the surface because it was only a 30-minute news show before they had to move on to the next point. Nowadays, you have 1 million people publishing, and they can take as much time as they want. So they can take the same nonsense that was happening back then, that's still happening now. They can go into detail. They can explain it. They can help you understand why it's nonsense. They can help you understand how it's affecting you directly. And they can start pointing out names. They can start calling people out. Oh, it's this person, it's this person. Well, look at this detail. Look at this part they didn't tell you. Read this bill. Read this on page 387 that they try to hide inside the bill. Oh, here's where the money's actually going. When they say they have Kamala Harris, we have a bill for the border. Remember the whole border bill that she was allegedly talking about was a bipartisan border bill. Well, where was most of that money going? Most of the money for the border bill, in case any of you didn't know, was going to a country that starts with the letter U, whose name that I can't say on one of these platforms. That's where most of the money was going. But see, in 1995, you wouldn't have known that because the news wouldn't have told you. But in 2025, you know it because you got podcasters and TikTokers and YouTubers who are pointing it out to you and showing you in detail, here it is. Look at this. This is the part they didn't say. And see, Elon Musk is helping to exacerbate this issue and not allowing the politicians to hide behind things that sound good but are not actually giving you the truth. That's what they really don't like about it. He's exposing them. See, the whole thing about him being an entrepreneur and having a whole bunch of money and not following the rules, cool. He ain't the first one to fit those descriptions. But this right here, this is something that is specific to him. And because of the platform that he owns and the megaphone that he has from which to broadcast from that platform, that's what's really pissing people off. So they can't execute their shenanigans in the shadows anymore.